On this week's episode of Regular Guys, as fast as week 3 has come, week 3 has gone. Find out what we have to say about some overreactions to a couple of teams. As always, hey, we thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe.
You are now listening to Regular Guys Podcast.
I know you guys missed us so much, and hey, the feeling is mutual here at Regular Guys Podcast. Hey, we're back for another week. We know last week we tried a little something different, try to give you guys a little, shake up 30-minute show, just see how you liked it. Apparently, you guys liked it a lot. We hit another milestone last week, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to you, the regulars. And that's big for us. Again, as a podcast that we are just trying to get our foot into it, grow each and every week. Seeing things like 248 views on an episode is definitely something to make it all worthwhile. We gain more subscribers. Let's get that to 100. We can't thank you guys again. Definitely make sure you like, subscribe, be a friend, and tell a friend about us. And we will be here each and every week to talk sports, talk NFL. Speaking of NFL, week 3 has come. And week 3 is just about over as we sit to record this podcast. But ladies and gentlemen, it's never too early for some overreactions. And I know just the guy to get us started with some overreactions. Sean, give me an overreaction that you got for this week of week 3.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with, and I was very wrong about this. There's no way Jalen Hurts, the clipboard holder, is going to beat the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys will win this division. I'm sorry for my brother-in-law because he's a Philly boy, but the Philadelphia Eagles have no shot. They got Jalen Hurts, and he's trash. Dak, Jalen, not a competition. The Philadelphia Eagles. Right now, the Philadelphia Eagles, they're the best team in the NFC from top to bottom right now. Defensively, they're just playing really good football. Jalen Hurts has been amazing today in the first half. He had 280 yards passing, 2 touchdowns in the first half. He's just playing. He's got the weapons, and he's really showing that he's that quarterback. I like them a lot. I'm not an Eagles, I'm an Eagles hater, but their strength of schedule is, if you look at their schedule, they might be favored every game, but 1 or 2 games the rest of the season, which is insane. Devontae Smith got out of his little slump he's been in this week. This week he had over 169 yards receiving and a big touchdown, huge catch. AJ Brown's been awesome for them guys. I think the Philadelphia Eagles, as we stand right now, are the best team in the NFC from top to bottom.
I'm not mad at it. I am not mad at the take at all. For those of you who are watching, Eagles fans, or if you're not, cool nickname. Darius Slay is calling the trio of what's his name? Brown. They went to they got traded to them.
AJ Brown.
Brown. He's calling the trio of AJ Brown, Quez Watkins, and Devontae Smith. He is calling them the Batmans because apparently there is no type of Robin there. There are no sidekicks. They're all different types of Batmans. Look, before we started the season, I think me and Jake were in agreement of the fact that the Eagles would win.
Yes.
Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and say this is what I saw, because it's not.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that at times they would play like this. Now, again, I get it. It is really still early. It's only week 3. Yes. They are 3-0 after just, making complete, I don't even know what to say. They just made their opponents look, like little kids the last 2 weeks. Had a little bit of a small scare of a comeback almost with the Lions week 1, but, they were able to make sure that didn't happen. But this is what they look like now. And it's, hopefully nobody gets hurt. Obviously injuries are a part of the game. But to say they are the best looking team from top to bottom in the NFC is not an overstatement. Like
their defense today had 9 sacks. 9 sacks today. So it's not just the offense looking amazing. That defense is getting to the quarterback. They're looking good, man. They really are looking good. And I hate to say it because I hate everything Philadelphia and New York, but yeah, they're the top of the East right now for sure. I mean, the NFC for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I don't even. Jalen Hurts is really just putting the league on notice that
yes, he is.
You know, we had the question marks. This team would be good if, you know, he could take them to the next level. And he really has. Like, at first we thought, okay, AJ Brown this would be an offense where they forced him the ball. And maybe after week 1, it looked true. Devontae Smith looked pretty good last week. And then this week he was like, hey,
let me show you why I'm that number 1.
I'm still, that first round talent.
Yeah.
So yeah, he looked pretty good. Jake, again, I know you're not a Eagles guy, but you did pick them to win. You got anything to add to Sean's overreaction?
I mean, I think it just goes to show that the offseason that Jalen did, so I know he spent time, I think in California is what the report said, just working on his release, working on his arm, his throwing motion. And that's tough going from Pop Warner, high school, college, throwing one exact way, maybe even your first 2 seasons in the NFL, throwing the exact same, and then being told, nope, you have to change it. You have to fix your release. You have to fix your timing. And to do that in one offseason and then look at the results now, that's pretty remarkable, to be honest. Like, most quarterbacks, it is what it is. Like, that's their release, and they're not going to change it.
Yeah.
So the fact that he did, and he also knows Philly has 2 first-round picks waiting. So they know if he's not the guy, they'll easily replace him. So he also has that behind him. So that's
the scary
probably what's happening.
Is that, that's scary that you have picks. And so far, Jalen Hurts is showing he's the guy.
Yes.
The trade is showing that it's paying dividends, and you have, weapons. Miles Sanders is still pretty good. The running game's still pretty good. Obviously, it's not like elite, but it is still pretty good. So the fact that you're telling me you can add to this, that's scary.
Yeah,
or
you could even trade these picks.
I was going to say that. You could trade those picks for if you wanted to get a better running back.
Yeah.
That's scary, man.
One thing is this year we're seeing with 2 different teams, the Eagles and the Dolphins, is they're putting pieces around these quarterbacks to see if they're going to be able to do this job. And they're both really showing up. They're both looking really good right now. So, I mean, they got some pieces around them, and it's like, this is your season. It's a make or break season for you guys. Are you our guy or not? And they both look like they're the guy for sure with the pieces around them.
All right, so this is what I had for my overreaction. I know they lost. I know they've lost 2 out of the first 3 games. But you can't tell me the Detroit Lions don't look like the Lions of old. Like, they look even better than last year. And it's something that we always said. What's going to be their struggle, what's going to hold them back is the secondary. And that's what happened today on that game-winning pass to KJ Osborne. It was pretty wide open. Like, there was no help on the defense. It looks like the secondary kind of, miscommunication or something. Just walked right in for that winning touchdown.
Yeah.
Without that, that's a really good win to get. And I know Goff threw a pick, but before that, he was looking.
He's playing pretty solid, yeah.
Lights out.
He's playing solid, and they don't even have Jameson Williams playing. That's the scary part.
Scary, yeah.
Because
it's scary.
You have Amon-Ra who's doing everything, but imagine you just get a burner. It's not just, he's not a burner like Miko Hardman burner or a John Ross burner. He's actually a really good route runner.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle type situation.
Yeah.
So you get that, just running those deep routes, those deep posts, or even you can, get him a mixed match in the backfield, and you can put all 3 guys. You can put DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, and then have Jameson Williams in the backfield. that's some scary stuff for that offense.
It really is, yeah.
Overreaction, because we got to be crazy. You know, that's how I am. I think the Lions will make the playoffs this year. That's my overreaction.
I don't think it. Honestly, Jake,
I
I'm
don't see it.
actually disappointed. This is probably one of your weaker takes, and I say that because of the simple fact. If you look at the NFC right now, we say the Eagles are sitting at the top, obviously. Who's there? Then you probably go.
I'd say Bucs,
Green Bay or Minnesota.
Yeah, Bucs for sure.
The Bucs, the Rams probably look the best to win that division.
Yeah.
So, and then you have 3 extra spots. It's kind of a toss-up between everybody else. I mean, we wanted to say the Saints still early. We lost today to the Panthers.
Not looking good for the Saints.
We want to say the Giants. We got to see what happens tomorrow night. Maybe they go 3-0. Maybe this isn't just a fluke. Maybe they just need the right guidance. So maybe they could be that Cinderella team, so to say. So yeah, in all honesty, where a lot of the team, I mean, San Fran, Jimmy G is back.
They got that QB1 back.
Yeah, they got the real deal, man.
Yeah, they're looking good. They, as again, we recorded this on a Sunday night. They just forced another 3 and out, score 7-0 in the first. They're getting the ball back. So it's like, it is going to be a bit of a fight. And I say that because, Jimmy G's back into the mix. But for you, those of you who are watching, Jake knows too, Sean knows too. I've been high on the Lions, and
yes, you have,
more offensively than defensively. And today showed that. I do like your take of them. I was going to mention them a little bit later on down the show. Offense is just amazing.
Yeah,
they literally led the game up until a minute and some change into the fourth.
Yes, they could easily be. Well, I'll say 2-1.
Tied. They could be tied with the division with.
They could be 2. They should be. They honestly should be. They should have won today's game. They should controlled. Yeah. They controlled the whole game. I was ready to text you guys to make fun of the Vikings because the Vikings. I'm not going to jump on that, but they're not looking too good for you guys. I mean, that Kirk Cousins is last week, but the Lions. They have a lot of potential. I know Hutchinson didn't do much today, but last week I think he had 3 sacks in the game. So yeah, I know their defense is a little.
It's iffy, the defense that just worries.
But they're young. They got a lot of young pieces, and I like the Lions a lot this year. I mean, I don't think playoffs is kind of a coin toss for me, but there's a chance for sure. There's a chance for sure.
And that's all I'm saying is just a chance. Yeah. I'm not going to say I'm going to cement them, but like, if we fast forward into the season and somehow the Lions became the 7th seed, it wouldn't shock me personally. Yeah. And that's because I've been on this bandwagon with them, even on Madden, you boys got to take support. But yeah, they got some good talent, man. And like Jake said, the fact that they don't even have Jameson Williams. Nope. The offense is already looking good, picking up from where they got last year.
Goff's not looking too bad either. Goff's, I mean, that one pick today, but he's doing better than I think a lot of people expected. I think he's doing better than I expected, honestly. So
I think he falls into that Jimmy G mold where the media, he's just not flashy, or they don't like him. So he gets a knock, a bad rip. Like, let's not forget, this is the guy who took the Rams to the Super Bowl. I get it, didn't win it. But it's the same for Jimmy. Took the Chiefs to the Super Bowl. Didn't win it. Almost took him there again last year. That experience sooner or later pays off. And you do have to think, man, what if Matt Stafford stayed?
This would Matt Stafford. Yeah, I mean, I know it's kind of hard. I know this is. I'm not trying to do an overreaction on this subject, but you brought it up.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford's not looking that great this year. He's
not.
He's not looking that great right now. I mean, is there a big difference between Goff and Matt Stafford right now this season?
I would say the difference is not physical talent. The difference is teammates. Matt Stafford's offensive line is looking trash.
Yeah,
you lost left tackle. I think they lost some other sort of guard or some sort. Defense took a hit. Von Miller obviously played a valuable more part than we thought.
They did get Wagner, but yeah, you're right. You're right. The offensive line is definitely.
Yeah, it's a hit. You lose your offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
OBJ, as many people like to say, he's overrated. The boy was going to win Super Bowl MVP if he does not get hurt.
Yeah, and I think they're going to go look to pick him back up once he's healthy. I think
once he's healthy.
I think that's the team to look out for to get him once he's healthy. But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but how they're both playing right now, it's not like it's a huge difference. But yeah, he definitely has a better.
Not.
Goff definitely does have a better offensive line though. So
yeah, agreed. A overreaction I have. No, I do not have PTSD after the whooping the Jags put on the Colts last week. But my overreaction, ladies and gentlemen, the Jags are contenders. Now I know what you're saying. Whoa, Matt, you're just saying this because the Colts got waxed last week in Duval. Now, again, as I mentioned beginning of the show, obviously this is an overreaction. But to travel across the state and to play a very talented Chargers team. Yes, I know, banged up. No Allen. Herbert did not look good at all. But still, many probably chose the Chargers to win this because we're just all used to Jacksonville being bad. This is very impressive. Trevor Lawrence, a.k.a. Sunshine, is taking that second-year leap into the guy we felt he could be, into the guy we saw him be in college with Clemson. Fantasy owners everywhere. Again, thank me later. Christian Kirk, another good week.
Yes, he is. Yep.
Urban really ruined this team. I'm not saying they're going to go and win the Super Bowl, but it's like, man, you look at it like, dang, brothers, the Jags are not that bad.
Yes.
Right now, they're sitting at the top of the division at, 2-1. And, the first game against the Commanders, they could have easily won that game too.
Easily.
But I think it was just them needing to look and see, guys, we actually don't suck like everybody else thinks.
Yeah.
Peterson is the guy that, that's leading them. I get it. He's not the best coach, but he's got experience and he's got the right experience to help, turn the organization around. And I hate to say it because, we had to play them twice a year but it does not look like we'll be winning Duval anytime soon, to be honest with you.
I'm going to add to your overreaction on this as well. Trevor Lawrence, right now, as of today, is a top 10 quarterback. He's a top 10 quarterback right now. I'm taking him over a few guys in that top 10. I'll tell you who. I'm taking him over Dak. If you said you could have Dak or Trevor Lawrence, I'm taking him over Kirk Cousins. All those quarterbacks around it.
I'll give you Kirk. I can't give you Dak, and I can't give you Dak because he's hurt.
Well,
it's kind of hard to say. It's easy to say.
Dak's been in the league how many years? 7 years. And this year is probably the worst offensive team he had throughout through his whole NFL career. But besides this year, he's had a stacked team every year. Right? He's had a really good offensive team every single year. I mean, I don't think anybody can argue that. Awesome running game. Zeke led the NFL in rushing for 3-4 years. They've always had two solid, receivers, 2-3 solid receivers, decent tight ends. This is Lawrence just learning with these new, younger guys himself. He didn't have that, he didn't walk into a situation where they could go off and have all this talent around them. They had to build it. I like Trevor Lawrence. I think I would take him in a top 10 quarterback right now. And that might be an overreaction, but I really, really, really am impressed with how he's playing and how he's handled himself.
Yeah, and I get that, especially as an overreaction. If I had to rank him, I'd definitely say he's on the outside looking in. For me to put him in the top 10, there's got to be a statement game. Like what he did this week, what he did last week, I think it was like 200 yards and some, a couple of TDs in both games.
I mean, it's really good. The Chargers, y'all were telling me how great this Chargers defense is. Like y'all were saying how great. They gave Mahomes a hard time, right? Last week they beat up Mahomes, gave him a hard time. and he put 38 on their head. I mean, I think that's a pretty good statement in my opinion. Three
I guess
touchdowns,
I mean
no interceptions, like 400 yards
wise.
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
I got you.
like
Yeah, okay.
like give me a Tua type game last week. I'm not saying you got to come back, but just
Yeah.
the stat line.
I don't think you need to have that many yards to be considered a really good quarterback.
Yeah.
Breeze never threw up Mahomes numbers.
No, that's true.
And
also, you're right.
You can dot up a defense without throwing for 350 yards.
And why is he going to throw more than 270 if he's winning 38-10? He's
It's
already.
It's the running game.
The running game's helping a lot. Yes.
You finally have James Robinson back.
Yep.
But that's where they're going to look, though. When you go to rank him, you're not going to rank him in the running game.
I know. I'm definitely taking him over Dak.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I can get
You're
that.
taking him over
I'm
Kirk Cousins too, right? Please.
About,
you're taking him over Kirk Cousins. Okay.
Yes, I'll take him.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't have him in the top 10, but I'd have him in that. 10, yeah. I'd put him in the Kirk and Dak range.
Yeah. That's
like
why I put him.
If you're looking at ranking wise, I'd put him in that.
I put 11. Yeah, that 11 to 14. I can put him there.
Yeah, but I'm not having it, and I'm not taking Herbert out of the top 10 because of what's going on. That's not his fault. He shouldn't have played.
That division.
100%. He shouldn't. Yeah. He shouldn't have played.
Nope.
This is a game that, it'd be nice if you win, but it's way riskier to play with what was going on. That injury is something that's extremely painful.
Yeah.
And I don't think he took any painkillers, which I don't blame him because last time they tried doing that, you punctured the guy's lung and Tyrod Taylor. So I don't think he was. Yeah. I think it's smart to not do that, but I think it's also not smart to play.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Especially if this was going to be the same outcome. You could have done this with Chase Daniels and still got it.
Yeah. They look bad today for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give you one overreaction that we didn't have real quick, just off of this game.
Okay.
Just to throw you guys a curveball.
What's this?
Staley's not going to be the head coach next year.
Nope. Oh no. Yeah.
I'd say that much.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, if they don't make it playoffs.
If they come back with Staley, you're gonna waste Herbert's big time years.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say for that.
Yeah. And Eckler, I am never listening to you again on fantasy football. I picked this fool up in the first round and he's terrible.
He's
terrible for me.
He's terrible.
Killing me. You're telling me 4 carries for 5 yards?
That's not terrible. He's not a pure rusher. He's never been a pure rusher.
I mean,
that's not his game.
Receiving,
he's a PPR guy.
He's not.
But you got to do a little bit on both sides. So I think you're more of a receiving back, but you got to average at least 50 yards a game on rushing. I mean, it's just terrible. I mean, he's not looking good at all. I've watched him a few times. It's just like, I don't know.
Last year, he only had 3 games over. 4 games over 55 yards.
Gotcha.
And he was still the number 2 running back in fantasy football.
Well, hopefully he steps it up because my fantasy needs it.
It was the
but anyways,
yeah.
No, I was going to go, not to cut you off, I was going to go for another overreaction. And it's going to be more so of a don't overreact. I just got finished watching the Bucs versus the Packers game. It was a defensive game.
It didn't look like it at first. It looks like
the first 2 drives Green Bay scored. Bucs defense.
They settled down.
They're going to be in the top 3 defense of all year. Yeah. What's going to hold? This is going to make or break the Bucs right here. Mike Evans, Godwin coming back. If they come back healthy, like I know a lot of people are looking at Brady. He's not having the greatest stats. He's throwing it to scrubs right now. He's throwing it to, they picked up Beasley and he started today. That's how bad it is. They picked him up on Tuesday and he started today. But if they can get Evans and Godwin, their 2 main targets back, and sprinkle a little bit of Julio in there, because he's going to get hurt after a game or 2 like he always does now. The Bucs, that defense, the only 2 pieces they need is Godwin and Evans, and I think they're going to run away with the NFC. And I know we talked about the Eagles how
It'd be a good match.
Right now,
It'd be a really good
Eagles,
matchup.
right now, the Eagles are better than everybody. It's a big if with the Godwin injury, because he's coming off a torn ACL, and then he came out first game of the year, which I thought was really dumb to do and play, because he only took the offseason off. He didn't have a lot of time for that ACL. He should have gave it at least a couple more weeks, I think. But if he can come back healthy with Evans, because Evans looked a little banged up last week, so I don't think this week it was actually probably a blessing in disguise for him. But if they come back healthy with that defense is amazing, man. And I think people are going to knock Brady because of stats, but like I said before, I don't think you can really blame Brady a lot. Nobody's getting open right now. It's just really hard for him. Wait until he gets his 2 targets back, and we'll see what happens. What do you think about that, Jake?
So I think in regard, like Mike Evans, he's gonna come back. It's not that I don't think he's not healthy, but anytime he plays Marshawn Lattimore, he always has to look. Yeah, it's never his matchup.
Tough. Yeah,
and he'll always.
I'd be mad too. We'd be ready to fight him too.
Yeah,
he's locked up like this.
It always seems like he ends up with a limp after he plays Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah, that's what I meant by the injury. He had a limp. But go ahead.
He's going to come back next week. Mike Evans is probably going to have 12 targets. He'll catch 7 of them, give you over 100 yards, a touchdown probably, and the Bucs offense is going to look better. Brady is not the issue. I'll tell you that much. I watched that whole game.
Yeah, not at all.
There was, I think, 2 to 3 fumbles.
Yep.
By the receivers.
Yep.
He was moving the ball, had nothing to do with him. Brady looks like he could still play another 5 years.
He looks great. He looks
insane.
Yeah,
it definitely is not him. That last touchdown he threw, I don't know how Russell Gage caught that, because that was a bullet.
It was Brett Favre style.
Yeah, that almost looked like a 95 mile per hour just fastball.
That's that anger coming out, that frustration throw right there.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the Bucs at all. You look how that defense is. Yeah. What Mike Evans is going to be the main guy back. He'll be good. I think Fournette needs to, shed a few pounds.
Yeah, he does. He came in way heavy.
Yeah, he looks and runs a little slow and heavy right now.
He's like a Jerome Bettis, man. Once he gets downhill, he looks great. But I mean, that first yard or two, it's like if he gets touched, he's not going to go far.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm not worried about the Bucs.
Yeah,
and this is where I say I'm not worried about Fournette. In the first game that they had both weapons there, Godwin and Evans.
Shortly though, Godwin got hurt pretty quick.
Okay, but still one weapon, 1.5 weapons, I'll say.
Yes.
Fournette still had over 100 yards.
He did.
So you get one back. I'm not even gonna say 2. You get one back.
Yeah.
The run game opens up.
Yes.
And
for sure.
when you all you have to worry about is Bernard Perryman and Russell Gage.
Yeah.
And Cole Beasley.
Yeah.
I'm keying in on Fournette the entire time because there's
100%.
no way these guys are going to beat me. Granted, Russell Gage had a good game, but Perryman caught a ball, fumbled. So it's like
Gage fumbled too, I think, right? Gage did. They both Perriman and Gage both fumbled.
Yeah, Gage fumbled.
Yeah, obviously he made
both
it up.
Lost
with the
it, man. Yeah, he did. They did.
Yeah, so it's but yeah, I agree as far as just temper your oh my goodness, what's going on, blah 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 blah.
It's frustrating.
Both weapons come back and they still look like this, then you worry.
Yes,
but it's going to be a while. Both Evans and Godwin will complement the run game and get them going. As far as Fournette, to me, he looks more physical with the added weight. I mean, the first week, my guy chip block Parsons put him on his butt.
Well, it was a blind side, but yeah, it was a good chip.
I wasn't no blind side. He saw him. He was there.
Parsons was heads up on. Parsons wasn't looking at him. That's what I'm saying by blind side. Parsons was on a tackle and he got sparked. Which Von Miller came out. Which Von Miller said that should be illegal. By the way, Von Miller came out and said that. Yeah,
Yeah, you got it's part of the game.
I know. I agree. He said you should be able to, but
I know he's looking out for his fellow defensive lineman, which I get.
And my last take on the Bucs too is with their offense right now. My only criticism for them would be is not to run more of a 2-minute offense with them. They need to rush that. They need to get that ball going like they did the last 2 minutes. They were just Brady was just piecing them up. They were playing too slow with the weapons that they have. They had to knock Green Bay off balance with a faster pace offense. I think in Brady in the 2-minute offense is just amazing. That's what that's my only knock on him with the pieces that he has. They should have went more of a fast paced offense, but I don't think the Bucs have anything to worry unless the wide receivers stay injured.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the Bucs, I'm not worried. I expect them to win this game. They obviously didn't. But going into this game, even when I saw all the receivers down, time and time again, I've said, I've had no confidence in Brady. I've said something about Brady, and every single time I get proven wrong. That's
being a Jets fan right there.
Yeah, at this point in time, I see Brady. He doesn't look bad. He doesn't look old. I know everyone's like, oh, look at the press conferences. He looks tired. He looks so... Man, imagine being 45, going through outside issues, and you're getting hit by 300-pound men. Of course, you're going to look old, but he doesn't play old.
Yeah, with these playing the exact receivers.
Yeah, he's playing the exact same. But I'll tell you something.
40-something, bro. Like, what
he's
is
45.
a 40-year-old supposed to look like?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to look 19 still.
Exactly. But I'll tell you someone who is looking like the pick that they were when they got drafted. And I know if you look at the score, it's like, man, he threw a pick. His QB rating wasn't even 100. But I like what I see with Marcus Mariota and these Falcons.
Yeah. I
like what I see. Granted, it's Seattle. That game could have ended in a 2-2 tie with both teams getting a safety. It would have been like, well, that explains it. It's two teams that are bad. But the Falcons are not what everybody thought they were going to be. Everyone automatically gave them the first-round pick, and they were going to lose every single game, and it was going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
That's not what's happening.
No.
They're giving me Lions of last year vibes. And the reason why we always bring up the Lions is because last year everyone thought they would be the team ending up with the first-round pick, and they were just going to be bad. But what ended up being is they were in every single game, and they would win a few.
Yeah.
That's what's happening with the Falcons. And look what happened, Arthur Smith. You decided to pass Kyle Pitts the ball, and it looked like it worked, didn't it?
Thank you.
I hated his.
Matt's happy about that. I think you got him on fantasy, right, Matt?
No, I don't. Yeah, I think I mentioned it last week of some sort, just to
benched him
for No, I don't have him at all.
Oh, okay.
Just for owners everywhere, I'd start him, but this would be my last time. Hopefully he does good. It's against Seattle, but if he doesn't, then it's like, okay, you kind of got to look for other options elsewhere. But yeah, just to kind of go off of what Jake was saying, yeah, they remind me of last year's Lions. And if you look at it, the pieces are literally somewhat similar.
Yep.
We'd say Kyle Pitts is their version of Amon-Ra St. Brown, their star receiver. Their kind of guy in the wing who is actually quietly putting together a nice rookie season, Drake London. This is also a team who does not have Calvin Ridley for the year. So you got to think what they'll look like once he comes back. And also too, they went to LA last week, almost won that game.
Yep.
And I'm almost certain the game week 1 against the Saints, they almost won that game too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sometimes a change of scenery fits both teams. Obviously, they needed a little change up from Matt Ryan after being there for so long. Obviously, Matt Ryan needed the same. And hey, I understand Desmond Ritter's there. I'm not sure he's the guy. I'm not really too high on him, but Mariota is definitely looking like the guy coming out of Oregon some years ago.
And so is Drake London.
I got one name for you guys. Cordell Patterson right now.
He's playing really good.
141 yards rushing today on 17 carries and a touchdown.
I don't want to talk about him. Matt don't want to trade him.
He has over 300 yards rushing, and his running back is actually primary position. He's like he does a little bit of everything, you know. He catches the ball really good. I mean, he's getting up there in age, but he's still looking like a beast, doing a little bit of everything. And like I said, he's average. He has over 300 yards rushing this year. I like how Atlanta's looking. Like you said, they should have, you know, they were close last week as well. Yeah, they're reminding me, like you guys said, as Lions last year for sure.
And honestly, it won't be bad if they have a top 5 pick. Add to the team. It's the same with the Lions. You know, you had the number 2 pick. You added Aiden Hutchinson. That's perfectly okay. Just you don't want to be in the top 5, and everybody looks at top 5. You're just horrible. If you're in the top 5, and at least you were in a lot of games, you got to learn how to win.
Yes,
and that's how the Lions were. You got to learn how to win. You got to shake that culture of not knowing how to win. As far as we know, the Falcons are still having that Super Bowl loss hangover of, you know, when the Patriots came back. Hey, I get it, man. It happens. Sometimes it's going to be a while before you can shake it. But
yeah,
until Mariota shows me differently, I'm riding with him, man, until, you know, and it's good that he's on a 1-year deal. If he stays healthy, which has been the biggest knock on his career, he can't stay healthy, and he just continues this level of play. You don't even got to be, obviously, you Falcons fans will take the elite. But if he just sustains this, I'm going to sign him for another year.
Yeah. I trust him more than Jameis right now. You know, I trust him more than Jameis right now. And that's who you compare him to, because they both came out of that draft and that was their comparisons. But right now, who would have thought that he would have been, you know, he's more trustworthy than Jameson right now in their careers. I know Jameis throws a lot of picks, but Jameis was head and shoulders better than him pretty much their whole careers. But right now, I mean, I'm trusting Mariota more right now.
Yeah, for sure. Overreaction that I have. It is time to blow it up in Las Vegas. 0-3 start for the Raiders. Josh McDaniels has pretty much confirmed that you cannot trust a Bill Belichick, quote unquote, disciple. It just doesn't work. I don't know what else there needs to be. They go back to New England. They do great again. Yeah. Matt Patricia, you know, insert whoever else, but they just do not work out. And I mean, you're 0-3 in a game where I'm pretty sure we all thought they would win against the Titans after this, you know, slacking that the Titans got on Monday night, against the Bills. But then you look at the next 2 games, you got the Broncos and the Chiefs. Maybe you win against the Broncos because they're still trying to figure it out. But the Chiefs, you can almost kind of chalk it up to an L, depending. You just never know what will happen. But I'm going to side with the Chiefs there. So it's just not looking pretty, man. It's Josh McDaniels was very mad with the Broncos. Yeah. But again, he got fired. Obviously, it didn't work out.
He did have the great Tim Tebow. I just like to say that. He did have the great Tim Tebow.
He did. I'll give him that. He had
the Hall of Fame Tim Tebow, guys.
Yeah, you know, took out the Steelers round 1.
That was one of my favorite moments ever, honestly. But yeah.
I'm there with you. To the late Demaryius Thomas.
He's such a good, let me ask you a question on this, actually, since we're talking Raiders. What do you think the biggest issue is with them right now? Would you say coaching, or I mean, is Carr just not that guy?
I don't think it's Carr. If you look at the stats, Carr has actually been outside of week 1. I think he had 3 interceptions week 1, but last week just the 1 pick. I think today he didn't have anything.
No, he had 1 pick today.
I think it's just
he had 1 today too. So he's throwing a pick every game.
So
4 picks in 3 games. 5 in 3 games. That's not good.
But it's not good, but it's not the reason you're losing. Last week, Hunter Renfrow fumbled twice.
Yeah, that was, they should have won that one. Yeah.
Last week, they also let Baby Yoda, aka the toddler, aka Kyler Murray, dance around for 20 seconds until he finally ran it in for a 2-point conversion.
Gotcha.
I think it's a collective. And this is again where I go back to the Bill Belichick disciples. The Miami Dolphins ex-coach, Brian Flores,
Flores,
who
yeah.
many thought was going to be the exception. People leave New England and they see Bill and how he ran stuff, and this is how it's going to be. We're this, that, forget the player relationship, yada, yada, yada. We're all football. And it's okay, I get it. It's a job. That's why you're there. They paid you the big, but it's like, I just think there's too many of them who leave New England and they try to bring that Patriot way and create their own Patriot way or try to replicate it. That Patriot way only works for the Patriots, which is why
Tom Brady.
Called the which is why
it's
called
kind of
way.
it's kind of the Brady way if you look at it now. Like it's kind of the Brady way.
So it's just
my only thing on
this was going to be a really good offense.
Yeah.
And so far as just add the big shocker, your dynamic pass rush duo of Max Crosby and Chandler Jones have combined for just 1 sack.
Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah.
3 games.
My only kickback, and I'm going to pass it off to Jake. I just want to say, when I get Derek Carr's stats, they always look good. I mean, to me, 5 interceptions in 3 games, that's pretty bad. But when does it get to a point where he gets blamed? Because I feel like all I hear is this person gets blamed. He has the weapons to win every week. He has some weapons. And I get last week wasn't his fault, but they should have closed that game out from the get-go anyways. They should have let Arizona get back into it anyways. I just feel my only thing is I get blaming everybody else, coaches and stuff, but sometimes stats can lie to me. Now, Derek Carr has all the talent in the world, but what are you getting out of it? Absolutely nothing. But that's all I have to say on that. What about you, Jake?
To be honest, I don't think it's the offense fault. Like, Carr he had 3 picks week 1. That's 3 picks is 3 picks. No matter, like Sean said, no matter how you put it, no matter how you look at it, that's 3 turnovers.
Blame that week 1 loss on him.
Yeah,
that's for sure. I'm blaming on him.
That's 3 turnovers. That's three drives that you just gave up on, basically. So yeah, that's not good. But you let Ryan Tannehill not only throw on you, but just run all over you, because he rushed too. That's on the defense. That has nothing to do with McDaniels, and that has nothing to do with Derek Carr and Devontae Adams. That's the defense struggling. And that's
22 points.
Yeah, you shouldn't be giving up 22 points. The Giants didn't even let them have that many points.
No, I'm saying the Raiders only had 22 points.
Oh, first, yeah, I get that, but I don't.
That's offense too, though. You got to finish these drives. Just because you get yards, you got to finish the drive. I get it. I'm not trying to jump in, but I'm getting to the point with Derek Carr where I'm like, I don't know, guys.
Oh no, for sure. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that Derek Carr is gonna lead the Raiders or any other team to an undefeated season and then win the Super Bowl. But I don't think he's the reason why Matt has his take of blow it up. I think it's the defense. What?
Yeah.
Name me a corner right now off the top of your head. Name me a corner on the Raiders.
Let me see.
You see, you have to look.
Google, help me.
I just gave you one.
Yeah.
Gave you one, but I only know it because we traded for Unique Ngakoue and we gave them Rocky.
Yeah, that's the only reason. And if you ask who's on the defense for the Raiders, if you're a football fan, you're only going to know Max Crosby and Chandler Jones. Besides that, nobody on that defense has really made a name for themselves. And in order to make a name for yourself, you have to perform on game day. None of them have. You have some nice prospects in Jonathan Abram, but that's not anyone that's going to stop a defense or concern you from passing.
Gotcha.
So I just think they need a little work. Obviously, week 1, Derek Carr, you can't turn the ball over 3 times. I don't care which way you look at it, which way you cut it, you can't turn over the ball 3 times.
Yeah.
But a pick, it's going to happen. You're playing against professional athletes on the defense. You're going to throw a pick. Rodgers threw a pick today.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks are going to throw picks. But I don't.
5 and 3 games though. So
yeah,
that's a habit. That's starting to be that's becoming a habit. If you
I just think
5,
this is who he is.
Yeah,
this is who he is.
That's why I'm saying he might not be the guy. That's all. He might not be the guy.
And that's honestly, that's okay because this is who he is, but who he is isn't horrible. It's
No.
not elite either.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But I feel
And
like a
that's
lot of people
perfectly
think he's
okay.
kind of at the elite level. I don't.
I would not put him at the elite
No,
level.
okay.
No,
Gotcha.
he's
Okay.
definitely he's probably like 15 right now.
I think a
And
lot of
depending
people
on
are
how he
like,
plays, he'll either go up to like maybe 12, or if he plays bad like he did week
very
1, he may drop
inconsistent.
to like 17.
Yeah, I just, a lot of people jumped on the Raiders bandwagon.
It's
once
because
they
of the
got-
firepower.
Yeah.
And with that firepower, I feel like you should at least get 28 points a game, a little bit higher.
I mean, you paid Darren Waller. I don't see why he's not being more productive.
Yeah. Devontae Adams, they got
again,
one of the best receivers in football. I don't know.
You gotta look at this. Josh McDaniels' offenses are not flashy.
No, they're not.
So although it is very easy to us to look at it before the season start and says you got a wide receiver 1 and Devontae Adams, a tight end 1 and Darren Waller, and a nice slot piece who in Hunter Renfrow. Josh Jacobs is pretty okay, not elite, not horrible. Fez came on here. I'm pretty sure he said it'd be like top 3 or they would win a division of some sort. I think he said something along them lines. But we gotta look all them years out in New England, even with the Broncos, his offenses are just not like that. And again, that's why I resort back to that Patriot way. This is plain and simple, bro. Like you have
Wrong coach.
Yeah, like you're easily you have the talent. I don't understand.
Yeah.
And the simple fact of, again, the dynamic pass rush that we all thought, Max Crosby is going to be lining up across from Chandler Jones.
Yeah.
Goodness,
Chandler Jones is usually a
man,
beast.
you guys got 1 sack, but like that's. I do get what you're saying. I do feel like many people hopped on the David Carr bandwagon and thought to themselves of,
I feel like he's doing the opposite of what a Jalen Hurts or a 2 is doing right now.
Yeah.
He's got weapons around him, and he's not. He's getting his stats to an extent, but he's not. He's still playing the same old David Carr way. He's not progressing, I guess you could say. He's kind of at a plateau, even with these awesome weapons.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
again, the next 2 games are tough. Broncos, you could definitely win. I don't know necessarily where the Chiefs game is. If it's at home, you'll have a chance because it's at your home. But if it's at Arrowhead, I'm gonna chalk it up as a loss. And the good thing is, at least after that, you'll be able to play the Texans, which I'm not gonna say you're going to win because in this day and age of the NFL,
It's been weird.
Man,
it's been a weird year. Yeah.
Any given Sunday.
Yes.
And other notes across the league, gents, I'm going to say it. I'm going to label the Dolphins as a contender. I absolutely loved what I saw today.
Yes.
Tua was not horrible. Tua was not elite.
He was concussed.
Okay. He was literally just Drew Brees-esque.
Concussed.
We're going to take this, we're going to take that. Hey, okay, cool here. Defense played good. Just when I thought, because I caught the back end of that game, I thought they were going to give it to the Bills to win. A punt that I think he hit off his blocking protector in front of him.
The kick butt. Not the butt fumble, the kick butt.
Yeah, it was. I was like, no, dang, this is how they're going to lose it. That sucks.
Embarrassing.
But yeah, for them to go out like that, this was a good team win. Again,
great team
I think
win.
before the game, we all would have picked the Bills just because of how crazy they look. Again, I get it for you Tua haters. But the starting safeties for the Bills weren't playing, and Poyer's out for the season. Who cares?
I mean, that is a big deal.
Part of the game.
Yeah,
injuries are part of the game.
It is a big deal. But who on the Bills' offense was hurt?
Nobody. Yeah, no. And I'll tell you this.
Win the game.
I'll tell you this. I watched that whole game. Florida weather ain't no joke, guys. Florida cramping, the offense was just cramping up left and right, and I think it's a great win. I'm a believer in Miami. I had them going to the playoffs as a wild card as well. But I'm not too down if I'm the Bills either. You're on a short week.
For sure.
You're on a short week. played Monday nights. You go to Miami and the weather's just brutal. But yeah, that was a good win for Miami though. You got to be as a Miami fan right now. You got to be.
Yeah,
I wish I was a Miami fan right now. Goodness.
Yeah, if you're a Bills fan, you shouldn't be too upset.
No, definitely not.
The Bills defense wasn't there. They had two rookies in the secondary and then 2 6-round picks from last year in that secondary. And Tyreek Hill didn't blow you up. So you still technically had defense still had a good game.
Not bad.
So it's not like the defense got lit up. It was a really close game. This is what you expect from two teams basically owning the division.
Yeah.
So I think my take of saying the Dolphins are going to finish second still might be true, just because I think, the Bills, you have to give the Bills the respect. They've made the AFC Championship game twice, I believe. No, last year they didn't make it. But they've been close. They've been really close with the Chiefs. They almost passed the Chiefs last year with a stupid overtime rules. So you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. But don't be shocked if, like Matt has been saying, Tua is the next Drew Brees. You don't need that rocket arm. And everyone's saying, Tua underthrew Tyreek Hill last week. That's all. If only it was anybody else, that pass would have been completed. You saw those passes to Jalen Waddle?
Waddle.
Those things were money. Right in the pocket, in stride. So Tua's got the arm enough to run with these boys. So I'm not too worried about that.
Gotcha.
Just real quick before I pass it on to one of you guys. I think it's going to come down to best record. At this point, you can kind of basically chalk it up as you got split. Let's just assume they lose to the Bills next game. It's going to come down to the record. I haven't looked at the Bills schedule, but looking at the Dolphins, you got this upcoming Thursday night against the Bengals. Then
that could be a tough one. But I think Miami might get them on that.
It'd be a tough. Yeah, it's going to be a really good game. I said because we got to see what happens. Looks like Joe Cool and the boys got themselves back on track against the win against the Jags.
I'm just playing, Jay.
We'll see. Their next 4 are Bengals, Jets, Vikings, and the Steelers.
So they're going to definitely beat the Jets and definitely beat the Vikings. I'm just joking. I'm kidding. I mean, Vikings.
I just hope for a good game against the Vikings, man. Only because we're going to be at that game, man. I want a good one, man. Just give me a good one. That's at the point. I don't even care who wins. Just give me a good game. I'm going to be there in person. I want to see a good one. That's all I
gotcha.
ask.
I understand.
The Jet fan in me still comes out. I still want the Dolphins to lose every game.
Yeah. I guess you have to.
I got Jalen Waddle on most of my fantasy teams, so I just want him to get his numbers, but then they still lose the game.
Yeah,
like that's how I am with my fantasy, and then my fandom to my normal teams. Like if I have a Cowboy and they're playing the Giants tomorrow night, I want that Cowboy player to play just well enough to help my fantasy team win, but the Cowboys still lose. I feel like that's where it should be. Yeah.
I understand that. So I got a team and I got a couple players I'd like to mention in this. The Browns. They should be undefeated. They should be undefeated. They should. Now, don't get me wrong. The Jets, they had an awesome comeback on them. And that Jets, they were awesome. But the Browns, Brissett is holding the ship down for these boys. Not blowing it up, but not messing it up, man. And a lot of people wanted the Browns to get Jimmy G or Baker, keep Baker there to play out a couple of games until Deshaun gets back. But right now, Brissett, and the main guy I'm going to talk about is Chubb. He's probably the best pure running back right now in football. He is awesome. The Browns, now I know their schedule gets tougher. I mean, they got Atlanta next week, the Chargers the following week. It gets tougher and tougher down the line. But if he can pull out a couple more wins, I know Deshaun will come back rusty, week 11 or week 12. But I've been impressed with the Browns. I really have. And not just defensively. They've impressed me offensively a lot more than I expected they would. They honestly should be 3-0 right now. So I want to give my Brown. I know we don't give a lot of Brown love here because, they're the flashy team like everybody thought they would be a year or two ago, but Chubbs is the real deal, man. I'm a big Chubb guy.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel, but I think this is the last year we're gonna see Kareem Hunt with the Browns.
Yeah.
He had a good week 1, but with the rumors of him wanting out in the offseason, and then Hunt's not snaking any touchdowns anymore.
No.
Last year they had Hunt at the goal line. It's more Chubb. He's getting more rushing, more. He's even had a few passes come his way.
Yeah.
So not to say that Hunt's no longer going to be the guy, but I could see him either being traded or just not bringing him back. Especially when you have the guy from last year. I forgot his name. Derek Dearness Johnson. That guy. He played really well, and he could be a nice 2 to Nick Chubb. So
yeah, I think Hunt is a great number 2 for him, but I think Hunt wants more opportunities. I think that's the biggest issue because he's starting to get up there with age.
Yeah, we've seen Hunt as the number 1 guy. He's scary, so it's not
he's explosive. Yeah, with KC. Yeah. Oh my goodness, he kind of messed his career up, man. With
he's trying to be a kicker, but
kicking the lady on the ground. He's an aggressive kicker. Yeah, I agree.
What makes you think what would have happened had he not left KC?
Ooh.
2 more rings.
That's what KC needs right now is someone like him, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know if you guys have any other notes. My one last thing, just kind of briefly, again, it was just the Lions. I was going to mention them around this time, and I just can't reiterate enough. I like what I see, man. I love what I saw last year, and it's carrying over. We'll see what they're made of. I'm not worried about the offense. The defense, that's where it's going to be at. But we all kind of knew it was going to be a struggle. It wouldn't be right if I didn't mention the Colts.
Yes.
Look, I said last week, I came on the show with the clown mask on. I literally sat here and I told you it would not shock me if we beat the Chiefs.
You did say it. You did say that.
And it's exactly what happened. It wasn't pretty, but hey, a lot of times winning in the NFL is not Mr. Jelani Woods back there behind me, 3rd round pick, tight end. Hey, man, he did his thing. Only 2 catches in the NFL, both of them touchdowns. Welcome to the league, rookie. Welcome to the league. We'll see what we're made of going forward. We got the Titans next week, and
I usually enjoy your guys's when your team loses because you always give me, for some reason, you always get on me. So now I have to do this thing back where when your teams
America's team, man.
I got to be happy, But I was actually happy.
Team.
I was happy for the Colts to pull that one through. Their defense holding Mahomes down like that was a beautiful thing. Yeah, that could be a spark that they needed. So we'll see coming forward, but. I was happy for that win.
We'll see. Yeah,
do you think Bieniemy stays after him and Mahomes almost had a 6-round fight going on at the end of the game?
Depends on the job openings. Look, don't get me wrong. We beat the Chiefs, and unless we win the Super Bowl, I still want Frank Reich gone.
Yeah,
like that's not going to change for me. Would I welcome Eric Bieniemy? Yeah. At some point, I mean, it is a little worrisome. The guy's been supposed to be like head coaching candidate like the past 2-3 years, maybe, and the fact that he's still there. So it's a little bit of a red flag. I don't necessarily know what it is. Obviously, the league probably does. I mean, unless he just really likes his job of offensive coordinator, but he has interviewed. So it's not like
him and Leftwich.
He doesn't want to.
Yeah.
I welcome Byron Leftwich. I actually like him a lot. Especially it wasn't like it was Bruce Arians doing everything. He let, Leftwich do his own thing. And the offenses look pretty good. It's a nice balance. Get the ball out quick. And, we're going to take deep shots here and there. And honestly,
I think Leftwich will be a great coach. Yeah, I think he could be a really good coach.
I think Bieniemy probably wants too much power. That wouldn't shock me because a lot of these coaches want to come in because for example, Bieniemy comes from Andy Reid. Andy Reid probably has a lot more power than most coaches do.
For
Andy-
100%. Yeah,
Andy Reid has
100%.
a resume for it, though.
Yeah.
Like he's earned the right to make a lot more calls organizationally than most head coaches. So if the enemy comes in there for an interview and expecting, hey, I want the GM to answer to me. I want to pick my own coaches. I want to do this. I want to do that. And it gets a little too crazy, and the teams are like, what have you done? And then you'd be like, oh, well, look at my record. Look at your quarterback. Like it's very easy to say his success is because of Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes.
For sure. Yep. I agree. So, and like I said, with him, I would look who I'm going to join. You know, I would look at a team that I know that has, I'm not going to go to one of these bottom tier teams that coach. I'm going to go one of these teams that are like middle of the pack that has talent too. So I don't know if that's a thing too for him, where he's maybe aiming a little higher.
And that's where the Colts would fit in.
Yeah.
Because let's say we don't make the playoffs and we somehow finish like 7-10. That would, to me, warrant a middle of the pack. We were maybe a game or two away from making the playoffs. We then also have a really good pick in somewhere in the teens to either draft your guy. We also have 2 second-round picks, hopefully 2, depending on what happens with Carson Wentz. Hey, Carson, don't get hurt. You being available all year is going to ride on us taking the Commander second-round pick. We have the package to then maybe move up into the draft for a franchise guy if need be. So, and we have the weapons. Alec Pierce showed me something today. Played really good. Again, the guy behind me, Jelani Woods, balled out. You know what Jonathan Taylor can do. I'm a little worried for the offensive line, but yeah, we'll see. It is worrisome, and that's why I like Bieniemy, because of the game planning he brings. Yeah. But the fact you're still there, man. There's something wrong. But who knows? Maybe it's like, Josh McDaniels accepted the coach job and then he backed off and he stayed there for some time. So maybe it's not like that. Who knows? I do like Byron Leftwich a lot, especially because
I do too. I think that would be. That's the guy I'd be looking.
I like him.
If it doesn't work out,
I like him for the Jags job. I thought him going back to Jacksonville to become their coach was going to be good. But Peterson wasn't a bad hire either. Again,
I like that. Yeah, no, obviously not. They're looking awesome. Yeah.
So, but yes, ladies and gentlemen, hey, regular guys, as always, each and every week. Moving on to our last little bit here. Something we are hyped about. Jake, let the people know what you're hyped about, man.
Man, I think Matt brought it up a little bit because I was just looking, like I was talking like with my wife, like, oh, you know, what the plans are going to be. But we got that Miami game coming up. And when we first did it, we were like, man, Miami and Minnesota. You guys know how I feel about the Vikings. I was like, man, do I really? Because I'm not a Dolphins fan, right? And I'm not a Vikings fan. So in order for me to go to this game, it was for specific reasons. We have a friend coming down, Viking fan, so we're going to go to that game. But
you guys going to hold hands?
No. God, yeah, okay. It ain't happening. But
okay.
Right now, I'm excited because most likely I would watch the Dolphins no matter what at home because that's what we get on cable. Yeah. I watch whatever's there. So I would have watched the Dolphins game. But now that I get to be there and see kind of like an explosive team, it's going to be pretty fun.
What week is that?
4, I think. 5.
Okay.
It's 6. As you guys can see, my dyslexia kicked in. I'm not good at.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. What your hype section.
But yeah, I'm just excited for the games. Being able to be there with friends, watch the game. Outside of everything else, not really anything going too crazy right now. So, just kind of excited about that. What about you guys? What about you, Sean?
I am hyped about the game tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to go my favor, but I know you're probably pretty hyped about that one as well. So I think the Giants might have a little bit of an edge. I don't have too much faith in my team, but hey, whenever your team's on TV, you got to be hyped about it. And I'm also hyped that Albert Pujols, the one-legged man who's hopped up on steroids, per Jake. This is Jake's doing right here, guys. He's hopped up on steroids. Jake said it, okay? So kill him with mean messages. Nah, he's had an awesome career. 700 home runs, amazing. and I'm pretty happy that Judge still hasn't hit another home run. So that's always good on my end. I hate the Yankees.
The only reason, and I don't want to get too much, the only reason I said that about
Matt, go ahead, Matt.
only reason I brought that up about Albert Pujols, every time before All-Star break and before the record was even in reach, he would limp to home plate.
He does.
He would limp, act like he couldn't walk. He wouldn't hit anything, and then if it wasn't in the outfield, he was walking to first base or walking to the dugout. And
He's
then the
42, man. Shoot him up with some testosterone. He's good to go.
They shot him up with something, and then the record comes within grasp, and this dude's hitting dingers. Like he's hitting a couple every series. I'm like, what the heck? Where did this come from? So that's the only reason why I brought that up. I'll let you go, Matt. I don't want this to be a baseball podcast.
Yeah. We don't want to bore the people. No, let me stop. Something I'm hyped about, football in general, man. Just football in general. I feel like today showed why football will always be the best team sport.
Yeah.
Whether it was like a big win for the Dolphins, or you're a Packers fan and to gut out a win like that down in Tampa, or even like myself, who's a Colts fan who needed this win. I just feel like today was one of the best, not best ever, but just good weeks to where football just showed that it is the ultimate team sport. There is no one person is going to take over like in basketball or baseball. Somebody will come in and score a run, hit a home run out, whatever, sacrifice fly, whatever the case is. But man, this is why I love football, because you got 11 guys on both sides and you need them all to operate as one. And if one doesn't, the outcome could change. And also too, there's a chess match between coaches and calling the right plays and trying to set everything up. So that's just what I'm hyped about. Just last little bit before we hit up with some closing words. Again, we thank you guys so much for tuning in each and every week to Regular Guys Podcast. The road to 100 starts with you guys, and we cannot thank you enough. Please like and subscribe. Smash that like button. We know you guys are smashing the views. We know that. We're not questioning that ever again. So please make sure you do so. For those of you living in the Florida area, hey, hurricane is here. Yeah.
Be careful, guys.
Stay safe. Stay safe out there.
Stack up on some
like,
goodies.
It's going to be widening out just a little bit. So depending on where you're at, hopefully you just stay safe. Hopefully it doesn't affect anybody else. But Sean, Jake, closing words.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate all the views. We appreciate the love and support from everybody. Thanks so much.
Yeah, guys, appreciate it. Appreciate the love. Appreciate all the feedback you guys always give us. We see nothing but success with the views, the numbers. We're trying to pump out some reels going on. Hopefully you guys like them. Give us feedback on those too.
Matt killed it with those reels. Matt killed that reel with the Dolphins, though. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
We're super excited about the podcast going forward. If you guys want to be on the show, you have any questions, want to ask us anything, just let us know also. And like Matt said, for everyone that lives in Florida, please be safe, be smart, don't do anything crazy. If you're told to evacuate. Hopefully we don't get to that point. But everyone should be prepared, be safe. Love you guys.
You are now listening to Regular Guys Podcast.